Guys, welcome back to another Premiere 34. Once again, we have Connie Pheiff with Talent Concierge with us. And Connie, how you doing today?
I am doing fabulous. It's just an incredible week. I have to really admit that we are busier than ever with phone calls from bureaus or even talent. You know, it just calling and saying, where do we go from here? What do we do from now? And we're actually facilitating and hosting town hall meetings between planners and venues and other people that are involved in the meetings industry to really come up with and create the best practices going forward, because everybody is, where do we go from here? What are we doing? Is speaking still going to be the way of the future? And you know, it is. It really is. I know a lot of people are in a panic mode or in a place of fear right now, but they really should be creating and leveling up their program and what they do, rather than, you know, sitting back and, you know, drinking some brandy, which that's okay too, though. And just feel that.
Yeah, it definitely has been an interesting couple of months for us as well. But really, this, you know, even people that would typically speak on a stage, I'm seeing more and more of, you know, opportunities for that to really come to us here in our own homes through you know, apps like Zoom and some, you know, Facebook Live and things like that. But before we get more into that, Connie, I know we have a really special guest with us today.
I know, I love her. Yeah. I love her. We have with us Rolonda Watts. Now, she is, and you probably, a lot of folks are going to either recognize her voice or they're going to recognize her. She is an award-winning entertainer. She's a celebrity. She's a book writer. She television, radio, film, digital media, comedy. She speaks in the cannabis space. She is a recipient of the Baby Moore Campbell Award for Excellence in Storytelling. She was the Editor's Choice Award for her romance suspense novel, Destiny Lingers. And she was also endorsed by Dr. Maya Angelou. And what she does and what she loves the most, of why you're going to recognize her voice, Gary, is she is a professional voiceover. And we're going to talk about that, and I hope she shares more about that. Rolonda, I'm thrilled that you're here. Welcome. You have such a diverse background. Is there any one thing that you do that you just enjoy the most out of everything that you do?
You know, Connie, and thank you so much for having me on here, you guys. This is really nice. It's nice to see people in quarantine.
Right, absolutely.
Nice to connect. You know what? It sounds as if I'm schizophrenic, like I do all these many different things, but of all the things I do, the one thing, the common thread through everything is storytelling. I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. That's what I am. And I'm just really blessed that my stories take me to different mediums, whether it's, you know, television or radio or a podcast or stage or comedy. It's still telling stories, and hopefully telling stories that move people, whether they laugh and feel better or they get jazzed and want to conquer the world, or really look within and change their lives. So storytelling is my favorite. And when people say, which of these careers do you like the most? It's like, well, which one of your babies do you like the most? I mean, there may be one or two, but we don't tell them.
Right. I love that. That's a good comment.
They're all so different. They're all wonderful in their each way. And I take care of them like they're my children.
I love it. I love it.
That's been my thing.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sitting in the car dealership the one day, working on my car, and all of a sudden they have Criminal Minds on the screen. And this was, of course, before COVID, and we were all sitting in isolation. So who do I see up there but Rolonda? I'm like,
over dead bodies.
I know her.
You know, I was really blessed to play Dr. Melissa Myers the last year of Criminal Minds. I had waited and waited to get that juicy role on a show like Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
And I got to play the medical examiners, or I got to be with, you know, the main characters, overcut up dead bodies, and learn big words like asphyxiation and all of those things. Yeah, it was a great run. Great run.
It was. Love that show.
And then to a total opposite thing, just recently we celebrated 420, of course, cannabis.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Celebration of cannabis and CBD and all of that good stuff. And we were supposed to do a big comedy show in New York City at Gotham, at the Gotham Comedy Club.
Okay.
All of these comedians from all over the place were getting together to talk about weed jokes, and we were all excited. And of course, it was canceled. But we had shot a pilot for a television show for a Yo Cannabis comedy tour.
Okay.
And so the quick thinking of the producers, we created a stream because it was so important to all of us comedians that people laugh during this time.
Yeah,
We
it
had
is
some
important.
kind, so we did whatever we could, and we created a live comedy stream on Facebook, and you can go and check it out. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but we had a good time. We had a really good time, and we brought a lot of laughter to people. And to be quite honest with you, you know, and I think it'll be the same with speeches.
Mhm.
I had more people watching my comedy act,
Yes.
all of our comedy act, than we could have ever put in a little bitty comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, when you've got thousands of people watching you, and normally it might be 60 if you're lucky.
Right.
It was quite an interesting thing. And I'm thinking like, this
Right. And that's
look at
like
the positives in these things.
Yes. Well,
You know?
Gary, you work in the cannabis space.
Yep.
You guys have
Yep.
some stuff going on there.
Yes, it's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, we have some clients that are in the cannabis space and the CBD space, and so they're you know, they sell, you know, they have creams and, you know, oils and this and that or whatever. But yeah, you know, the technology that's available at our fingertips. To me, I just feel like innovation is going to come from this pandemic. And people are, like you said, Rolonda, people are going to be able to even fill a nightclub up with how many ever people, but still even take it to the next level and still stream that out as a secondary market, you know? So I really believe that, you know, a lot of great things are coming from this. You know, you got to still produce some of your material that you probably worked really hard on, you know, and a lot of the other comedians got to, you know, be together, and you got to see people's faces again. You know, that was fun too. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's with everything. I think we're seeing, you know, you've got these eyeballs at home watching for the first time. I think this is a real time to really get into people's schedules, to make them say, oh, I got to hear what so-and-so is going to say today. Even though we're going back to work, I love that person, or I love that brand. I want to stick with that. So now's the time to really make a strong impact, I believe, on our audiences, followers, fans, listeners, whatever you call them. Now is a time to really show your stuff. And the internet, I tell you, who knew? I mean, this is going to be our new normal.
Right. And we're getting phone calls from people that are saying, I've been wanting to call you, we've been wanting to call you, but we didn't have the time. Tell us more about Rolonda. Tell us more about this person or this person. But almost like to a T, it's, we didn't have the time, but now we have the time and we're calling you and we want to find out more about, you know, what they do and how we're doing this. So I find that really interesting when I get these phone calls. They're like, but I didn't have the time. It's almost like I'm expecting.
Well, here you go.
Right. It's like I'm expecting to hear it.
Yeah, I find that I'm busier than ever. You're right, in doing those things, even if it's studying. I mean, I study more stuff on YouTube. They ought to give out degrees, man. You know, there's so much to learn.
Yeah, you're so right. You know, my wife said, hey, I need to go do something last night. So I popped on from the TV, from the show we were watching onto YouTube, watching a tutorial guy that I follow on some stuff that I'm trying to educate myself in. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm going to take 10 minutes to watch this. I mean, I love being educated and kind of getting information, but it's so easy. Just a couple clicks of a button back, and now you're back to the show. And, you know, it's so interesting. So Rolonda, do you find yourself, I know you said you find yourself on YouTube a lot more. Do you find yourself giving more of your time to social media for your fans or for, you know, organizations that you're working with, or you're kind of help push? Do you feel like you're giving more of your time, like maybe on your phone or some device, like giving content to them, like what we're doing right now? We're having this interview. Do you feel that's increased over this last couple months?
Absolutely. And I'm using every single form of expression I can to soothe people. I mean,
Sure.
you know, one of the things we're noticing is that, you know, who are you turning to during these tough times? You're turning to artists. You're
Right.
turning to the musicians. You're turning to the actors. You're turning to the comedians. You're turning to the podcasters. So, and these are people who don't make a lot of money. I mean, let's
Right.
be real. Not everybody's
Yep.
making
You're
money.
right.
So, but you're turning to these folks to get you through. And a lot of that is the meet halfway, because I know most of the actors and comedians that I know, and even the podcasters are saying, let me use my gifts to help people during this time. I'm finding also, not only in terms of comedy and entertainment, I'm getting a lot of people who are saying, like, can you work with me? Because I'm listening to you saying that, because let me tell you, a year ago, like right now, a year ago, I started doing these webinars called Rolonda's Reinvention Retreat, because people were constantly asking me, you know, because I was like, if I were to teach something, what could I teach? And they were like, voiceover, this, that. But what we really want to know is, how do you keep recreating yourself and making successes in those?
That's key.
How do you do that? And it seems seamless. They don't know that half the times I recreated myself, it wasn't because let's go try this. It's because I needed a job.
Yeah.
Because something else had ended, because there was a strike in my industry. It came from really having to pull up my bootstraps and pull on my big girl panties and figure out what the heck I was going to do next to survive.
Right.
And so I help people. They're like, bring back the reinvention webinars. And they're free webinars where we just get people jazzed and into possibility thinking. And they can come and get coached with me later if that's what they want to do. But the main thing is that this is a time of rebirth. It's a time of renewal. It's a time of reinvention. Recreation is what I'm saying. You got to be a creator now. And you know what? I kind of like the word recreation, because you could say recreation, because it should be fun and play too. Yeah. So that's the thing I'm doing, is taking us out of the doldrum, getting us excited and jazzed about new life and new birth. You look outside, the plants are still growing. It's still spring. This isn't something nature did to us. This is something we did to us. So it's going to be a real chance of rethinking who we are as human beings invited on this earth too.
That's right.
So there's a lot going on. And I'm so excited about this, because I think this is going to be a really positive thing. All that negativity, the hatred, the racism, all that stuff probably exists, but it's not in our face like it was.
Right. You don't hear about it.
Breathe, you know?
Right. You're not hearing about that right now. And what you're hearing is love, and everybody's out there for each other, and they want to help each other and support each other. And some of the things, like you see the drive-bys of people wanting to say happy birthday, or people singing out windows, or, you know, just seeing that, you know, from humanity, it's really fulfilling and uplifting. And every time I look, like I said, at Facebook, I see Facebook or any of the platforms, Instagram, you are putting so much information out there, so much of you out there. It's just, I love it. It's really, truly inspiring.
Well, it's that thin line, Connie, because sometimes you wonder, am I just being in your face a little too much? But
actually, I think there's a good balance of what you're doing. Now, some of your topics have caught me like, oh, really? Like, people are having more sex now. Oh, okay. Who thought about that?
Babies are going to be in 9 months from here. We're going to have another baby boom.
Come on.
We're going to have a lot of divorces too, I think.
Yeah. I told my husband it's a good thing I like him. Because
I told my dog, I'm glad I like you, because, honey, you would have hit the road a long time ago under these circumstances.
Right. You know, Rolonda, going back to all the content you're putting out, and, you know, some of the stuff that you're giving for free out there, and then if people want to, you know, follow up, they can. I mean, what that does is, you know, in our industry as a media agency, I mean, what that does, it really builds trust. You're building trust with your fans, just like, you know, when you know, you've done your talk shows, you've had all the things, you know, that you being on TV and things like that. I mean, literally those shows, especially like Criminal Minds, I was on, I think, for 8 or 9 seasons.
14.
Maybe it was 8 or 9. 14.
I love that show. I'm so satisfied.
Yeah. So you know, you think about the trust and the audience for a network to say, hey, this is worth this many seasons, you know, this many years. So, you know, throwing stuff out there, content. I don't personally think you can put too much content out there. People are going to like it, they're not going to like it. As long as it's you and it's organic and it feels like it's who you are, then I say put it
like
out there.
Today, I put up my cannabis comedy act. And then at the same time, I just interviewed a top cardiologist about how the coronavirus is really attacking the minority communities. I just spoke with a nurse who has to not only come home and take care of her baby, who she can't hug yet because her wife has to take care of the baby, because she's a nurse. She's saying, stay home because I want to hug my kid again.
Yeah.
So we put that story up. We also talked about how to start an at-home business with Dr. Lynn Richardson, one of the top business gurus. We talked with an attorney, Sarah Zari, about how do you navigate through all the government programs. I mean, so there's content out there that's going to help you. And also, how do you date under? I mean, I'm a single girl, on all the dating sites.
When you put something
I'm on Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, all of them. And let me tell you, going back and forth from New York to LA, I had my little situation going. I was doing great, Connie, y'all. I was slamming. I had my boyfriends here, my boyfriends there, and then coronavirus hit. And I'm telling you, now the Zoom room has become the who's Zooming who room.
And now you're buying batteries.
But I tell you what, all the dating coaches and stuff that I talked with said this could be a marvelous time because you can do virtual dating. We can still put candles around the house and get all dressed up and date and really actually talk. And know that you're not going for the dessert after dessert that quick.
Right.
You gotta wait a few weeks.
You're gonna earn it.
You gotta earn it. That's right. Tell them about it. That's right, Gary. Tell them.
Right, you gotta earn it. Not getting this. The other one you did too, your TikToks. I like those.
Oh, TikToks are fun. Now I like Gary V. He's one of my mentors on
the
show.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's saying TikTok. Man, I wish I'd have bought stock in TikTok. He was saying TikTok is going to be the new big thing.
I
know.
So
there is a time for you to, and people in my age group are like, for real, TikTok? Isn't that something a clock used to do? And I'm like, let me tell you something. This is something the whole family gets in. It is the world celebrating silliness.
Yes.
It's silliness.
I've got a character on TikTok, a drag queen that I turn into called RuPaul.
Yes, I like RuPaul. That is so cool. I was just laughing. And actually, my neighbor, he has the community theater here, and that's what they do. They do the drag, and I actually showed it to him. Get her here.
I know, digital drag.
So cool.
But it's time to really create and to have fun and to find the joy. Joy comes in the morning. Joy comes in the morning. And I have faith, and I'm not going to let no virus take my joy.
That's right. Come on, preach.
That's the truth. It's just like, it's not going to happen. Not today, Satan. Not today.
That's right. We have a saying around our office that hope is currency. Yeah. And so like we keep, because the thing is that in our industry, I mean, we events, I mean, all of us, y'all, ourselves, we all do events. And that was our really biggest line of revenue coming in. And then when all the events stopped, we could have, sat here and just kind of close the shop up. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what happens. Government give me money or whatever. But then we said, hey, look, guys, we reinvented, some things to really say, look, man, because we have hope, and we're looking out there. We said, we're not going to survive. We're going to thrive. And that's kind of like our thing right now. So that's so good to hear other people, Yeah.
Well, Gary, what I tell my clients, I say, now look, you can either cry or you can climb.
Yeah.
Choice.
Yep.
You can either be happy or go into gloomdom.
That's right. It's a choice.
Yeah, the people that are making decisions, and I say even 6 weeks ago that made a decision, hey, I'm not going to sit back. I'm going to keep out in front of people. Whenever we open back up, whether that's, because we're starting to open stuff back up here in Texas, this week. But if it starts opening back up at the end of this month or whatever, those are the people that are going to be in front. Right? That stayed consistent with content. That's right. They're going to stay in, because it's going to look, the world's going to open back up. I'm dying to travel somewhere. I've been looking at all my,
Aren't we all?
Look, across the street would be nice.
Yeah. I know. I'm sitting here like, could we go yet? Could we go?
Yeah. So
Vacation is the grocery store right now.
Right. With your hoodie and your mask and.
Well, and listen, and Gary, the travel industry I could hear them going, "Yay, Gary!"
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We want to hear more of that.
I mean, I think right now is the time to think about getting ahead of the ball. Now, listen, I think it's also okay to mourn. I think it's okay that life is used to have. I think it's okay to give yourself a 15-minute pity party. You need an hour, go take a bath, go to sleep, cry. It's okay. But then you got to get back to it. Even if it's one little thing. A lot of people are changing the way they eat right now. Because guess what? Most of our lives, us single people, our lives was going out, people eating, drinking all the time. Now it's like, well, I guess I could really do a plant-based day today.
Yeah.
So people they're looking at their relationships differently. You look at people like Chris Cuomo, who said, you know what? I've had to rethink this thing. I don't like what I do. I don't like dealing with all the crap that we deal with in the news business. I'm out. Peace out. So people are reevaluating as well.
Right. I've been following him, and he's really gotten emotional. And of course,
his wife has it now.
Wife has it now. Right. So he's really gotten emotional over it. So I hope that all works out. But the opportunities right now is plentiful, and people can just look at how they can reinvent themselves. So I would love to continue this conversation. It's always awesome. Awesome, beautiful. I always love chatting with you. But we got to go. So
follow me on social media, all forms. TikTok,
I know. We got to go to TikTok.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me there. You'll be getting information. I'll be doing another webinar within a couple of weeks. I'll probably do once a month or something because people really have fun with them. And it just takes us away and makes us have possibility thinking.
Yeah.
And, what that old thing, when you see impossible, put the apostrophe in there and it says,
that's right.
Impossible. Give yourself a little space, a little apostrophe, you'll be okay.
That's right.
And you bring so much to it. So such a joy. So thank you.
Thank you guys. Yeah. So good to talk to you and so good to have human contact.
Yes.
Yeah, really. Rolonda, look, thank you so much. Guys, y'all heard it right from her mouth. I mean, she brings energy from your face, her face and her mouth. But y'all heard it right here.
Reach out and touch her.
That's right. The energy is there, guys. We'll link all of her ways to follow Rolonda down below. But hey, thanks for joining us again for Premiere 34, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.